ain't nothing.
Welcome back to Everything Goes. Today I'm in the studio with my man A.
Yes, sir. We back in this pub. You hear me?
Got my man John. A.
But we still repping the birds, man. Still repping the birds,
I
dog.
mean, I don't know why was that 2 straight L's.
Yo.
I don't know
Hey, we
why.
don't gotta talk about it. We don't gotta talk about it. We don't gotta talk about it. You mean?
Yo.
I know New Orleans not looking too hot. It's cool. We gonna move
You're
on.
like-
We're gonna jump right into it. MOTD, moment of the day. I'm gonna start with you, Ian. What was your moment of the day from the games on Sunday?
My moment of the day was a Drake May rollout. I think the pass was to Kendrick Bourne. I want to say that's not the guy from the 40. It's him and then another bull on the 49ers. They last names is similar, but whoever the B last name is on the Patriots, he caught a pass. It was a touchdown pass, like the left end zone, left corner of the end zone, and Drake was rolling out to his left. It was a beautiful pass. I'm watching. I didn't expect it to come into me. It was like not Drake is here, but like Drake might have arrived. That was my moment of the day.
Okay. What about you, John?
My moment of the day is continuing to throw slander on the Miami Dolphins until they get out of there. So it's obviously, the clock wasn't on his side and the field position wasn't on his side. Tua throws a game sealing pick to end the game as they got the ball back with like 40 seconds to go or something like that, I think. Then they could have drove down, got a field goal and won. But per usual, Tua just throws it to the other team. He finished the day with 3 picks. So yeah, my moment of the day is putting more nails in the coffin to getting Tua and Josh ass up out of there. So my moment of the day is not positive this week. It's very much negative.
So for me, my moment, I feel like he just keep being my moment of the day because he just keep making great plays. But once again, got my guy Kyron Williams, 3rd and long. That Matthew Stafford threw. I think he came out the backfield, he leaked out the backfield, jumped up in the air. He caught it he landed on his back, but he had to jump all the way up in the air, high point the football on top, over top of a middle linebacker. It was just a great play, and that's not a catch that a running back is supposed to make. And he made that catch, and then the very next play, they turned around, handed off to him. He ran right through him, got right in the end zone, touchdown. So them 2 plays back to back. Well, them 2 plays back to back, he got him right in the end zone, picked up 20 yards on the catch, and then another 5 yards on the ground. So that was my moment of the day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate any and all support. Thank you.
We're going to jump into our first game of today, Catch or Pass. And the first statement for Catch or Pass is Drake May is the best second-year quarterback in the NFL.
I'm going to catch this, John, kind of by default, only because JD has been injured and has been playing the best in the games that he's played. Although I do still feel like JD is the better quarterback, but I want to shed some light on how Drake has been playing because honestly, he's continued his play from last season when he became a starter. But this season, he's 5th in passing yards with 1,500, 12th in total touchdowns. He's leading the league in completion percentage, and he has a 112 passer rating, second behind Jarrett, who has a 120. And now at this point, he has led his team to a 4-2 record, right? Yeah, 4-2 record with a couple nice victories. But he's playing excellent football right now. And he still has a lot of growing to do. But you see the flashes and the potential that he showed. That he's putting on display that he showed and why he was drafted where he was to be the next great quarterback of this franchise. So I'm gonna catch this. I'm gonna catch this goal.
What about you, E?
I'm gonna pass for the same name that John said, was hurt and by default he's been out. I think he still has some say in that. I think it's too early on in the season for us to negate him from this conversation because he missed 2 or 3 games. think the games that he's been present for, he's made his impact. And they have been, competitive in some games with some solid teams like the Chargers, where the Chargers was missing guys as well. But that was JD's first game back, a good test to him and his ability to really run the offense, coming off an injury, and he did that. I think that Dre has shown the most growth from last year. Numbers show that Bo and Caleb don't really, they're not in the same conversation as Drake and JD 6 games into the season. Or Drake more so than JD because JD was hurt. But like Drake has created separation between him and Caleb and him and Bo. But I think that to negate what JD did last year and then so far this year, like you said, there's a couple games where he's not stellar, but I don't think that Drake has done enough yet for me to say he's the best second year. But I think through 6 games, he has played the most complete football, most consistent football out of the second year quarterbacks.
Got you. So for me, I'm going to agree with Ian on this one. I'm going to pass on this, but me and Ian part ways here because you saying right now you like that you feel as though Drake separated himself from Bo Nix, but me personally, I don't think so. And so I listed, like I put them in order. Obviously, you guys didn't have to do it, but I just put them in order for the reason as to why I passed. I got Bo Nix number 1, and the reason why he's number 1 right now because he did take his team to the playoff last year, just like JD. Obviously, JD had the great run, went all the way up to the NFC Championship game, lost to the Eagles, et cetera, et cetera. But to start this year, he's been hurt, and then in the full game he played against Green Bay, outside of when he did come back against the Chargers, they looked nice, and he looked good in that game. But the game against Green Bay, he didn't look so well, and he has been hurt. So I got Bo Nix above him for that reason. Then I got JD at 2. I got Drake at 3. I got Caleb at 4. And then Penix at 5. And then JJ is just 6 because we really haven't seen too much from JJ, honestly.
Right.
So
I'm not mad at your list. I feel like Bo, even last year with the playoffs run, I think that Bo exceeded his expectations. But I think that he was still a quarterback on a team that was led by his defense. I think that JD put his foot in the ground and established himself in a similar way that RG3 did his rookie year. And this year is still his show. I think that Bo has been in some games this year where he's shown that maybe like last year, we weren't sure if Bo Nix was a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think this year we are sure of it, but I think that Bo still has close wins this year that he didn't play great and his defense did, or J.K. Dobbins did. And I'm not ranking him number 1 because he's staying afloat on the team with a solid defense.
So my only pushback on that is his defense is solid, and he definitely do have the reigning defensive player of the year in Pat Surtain. So Pat Surtain. Yeah, so that's understandable. I get that, but when you look at the offensive side of the ball, to start the season last year, that running game did not get going until like week 12, week 13. The year was almost over. So the whole offense last year was basically put on him until the last 5-6 weeks into the season. And then to start this year, they have been able to run the ball better. But all of that starts from them doing what? Play action and him throwing the ball, him escaping the pocket, and him throwing on the run. His offensive coordinator said that he thinks he's the best thrower of the football when he's on the run. And so they have design plays just how they had design plays for JD last year to get him throwing on the run. And so their whole offense is built around him. So his defense can be as good as it is, but at the end of the day, you got to put points on the board, and they're not looking to nobody else to do that besides him. And he's coming through.
Fair enough.
So moving on to the second statement of Catch or Pass. The AFC North division belongs to the Steelers this NFL season.
I'm cool. I feel like the Steelers thus far have done what they're supposed to do with their schedule. Mm-hmm. I do think that A-Rod looks better than a lot of people expected. And then y'all two, I was about to curse, y'all two young brothers will give him credit for. But I think that if you look at his schedule and what they got coming up, they got a lot of bangers. Like, it's a lot of bangers on the way. Joe ain't coming back no time soon, but Lamar should be back by the next time they see, the Ravens. And I don't think that the schedule is fit for them to succeed. So I think that the AFC North, contrary to what the standings show right now, is wide open and it's anybody's for the taking for.
Gotcha. So you passing on it.
Pass, absolutely.
Gotcha. What about you, John?
So I'm catching. I think the AFC North is super cooked. The Browns are cooked. The Bengals are cooked. And right now the Ravens have one win, but they're 1-5. And although I can say I agree, I because I wrote it down too. I agree with Ian as far as the schedule is concerned, because the next 5 games for each team, the Ravens, they have the Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, and Jets. That's a cupcake schedule outside of the Bears, truthfully. But for the Steelers, you have the Bengals twice, the Packers, Chargers, and Colts. But the Steelers are now growing into a growing into what their defense is supposed to be, and A-Rod is playing great football. Like he's playing. I'm not gonna say exceptional, but he's playing good football and good enough to where they can win. Go on and win. They're at 4 right now. They can go on and win 11 games easily. That's just 7 more, and I think, or even 10. And I think 10, 11 games will very easily be able to crown this division, because unless y'all think the Bengals and the Browns are super cooked. So unless y'all think the Ravens are 1-5, that they're going to the rest of the season be 10-1, which I'm not putting. I wouldn't even dream of that. Then yeah, I think the AFC North is super cooked.
So for me, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I'm with John on this one. I'm catching it, like he said. The Browns is 1-5. The Ravens are 1-5. The Bengals are 2-4. But Joe Burrow is not coming back. I'm gonna save my Joe up for another day, because I really want to go at Joe Burrow, but I'm not gonna do it tonight. Not tonight. So I'm gonna save it for another day. But I'm gonna push back on what Ian is saying about the Ravens and about Lamar coming back. With all due respect, I love Lamar. He's a 2-time MVP, but in the regular season, Lamar is known for doing what? Losing games he should not lose. He already done it this year. So even if he does come back, like John said, are they going to go 10-1, 11-0? No. The only quarterback.
And the defense suck.
Yeah, and they defense been garbage all year. So even if he do come back, he gonna come back and they gonna go what? 7-3. 6-4, maybe 7-3 at best, not 8-2. Like I don't see them getting back in it with them being 1-5 right now. I don't see them catching Pittsburgh, and I'm not going to talk too much about Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm gonna say that for later. Well, for the next statement, I guess I should say. But I don't see the Ravens making this competition. So I do think Pittsburgh, they coasting right now. It's their division, honestly. That's how I look at it.
I like you kept your answer short because I know you want to get off the Steelers topic because they don't really deserve that much breath. But I just unlocked my phone and the schedule is still on my phone. So I'm gonna read out the rest of the games and then I'm gonna put up a finger for the games that I got them winning. Right? They play the Bengals this week. So I'll count that. Packers, Colts, Chargers, Bengals again. I think Joe is split. Bears, okay, I can give them that game. And maybe Caleb got his footing by then. After the Bears, they go Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Steelers. Lions, Browns, and the Ravens again. So even if they split with the Ravens, which like you saying that Lamar lose games that he's supposed to, that he's not supposed to. So let's say that they split. That's 5 more wins that I'm counting, right? And you can say the Chargers, the Colts, like there's other games in there where they could be not the favorite and still going on and win that game. But to me, if they win 5 more games, that's 9-8. Lamar can catch that to me. So like if it's 10 or 11 games, then maybe that's uncatchable. But to finish 9-8, I think that the Ravens are still in position to do that as long as Cooper Rush don't got to go play quarterback for 2 more weeks.
So that means Lamar got what 8-3? He got to come back and be what 8-3 or 9-2 to catch that.
Yeah, 8-3 at least.
I don't see it, bro. I don't see it because I see them. We gonna talk. Let's just get to the next topic. Statement 3 for catch or pass. The quarterback play in the NFL has been nothing but surprising thus far.
I'm super catching. I think we'll get into it, but there's quarterbacks on both sides of the spectrum that are both playing exceptional football right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is just mind-boggling. I never would have thought the day that Daniel Jones is playing excellent football right now. We was talking about him being on apology watch. He is getting a formal apology. He's getting a formal apology because this man is playing great football. Like him, Sammy is playing great football in Seattle right now, and I'll be one of the first people to say when they moved off Geno and got Sammy, I'm like, why? I'm gonna take a step back. But I was wrong. He's 4-2. Numbers is great. You got Drake. I was on Drake because I kind of figured he would have the year 2 translation. And a couple, another person of note, Matthew Stafford is obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's never been in the past couple of years that elite in the regular season. He's on pace to be a top 3 MVP candidate right now. He's leading the league in passing yards, touchdowns. He's top 5, completion percentage. He's also top 5, and then also one sleeper. And on a positive note, I don't even want to go to negatives. Spencer Rattler too, the New Orleans quarterback. He's also playing solid football, though his record is not indicative of his play because they're 1-5. But for him to be this is his first year full-time starting, I believe. He's playing good football. He's not losing y'all games, but he's also not winning y'all games. He's doing enough to where, if the structure was a little better, the team was a little bit better, then y'all could not, instead of being 1-5, y'all could probably be 500. So yeah, I'm catching.
Okay, what about you?
I'm gonna catch as well. Like he pointed out some positives. Not to say Dak hasn't done it before, but when Dak was solid and in the MVP kind of conversation before, his team around him was stacked, offense and defense. Right now, Dak is not only lacking on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, he's down his number 1 receiver. Due to injury right now, and that's multiple weeks at a time right now. I'm not gonna say he created Jake Ferguson, but Jake Ferguson has come into his own in the last 2 years, and that's one of Dak's favorite targets right now. So, excuse my language, but the Philly and me, fuck the Cowboys, fuck Dak, but Dak looks solid right now. Dak aside, it's a lot of guys that's supposed to be dominating or that we expect to be playing football on a day-to-day basis looking impressive that are not.
Josh
doesn't look impressive. Jalen does not look impressive. Mahomes looks better to me this year than he did last year in the regular season. Last year in the regular season, it looked real up and down. Like, what is he doing? Like, we kept waiting for the playoffs to come. Right now, he looks solid. Trevor Bortles right now is playing solid football, which he has had some costly turnovers, but his team is winning football games, right? And so turnovers is one thing. We had a couple years back where Jalen was fumbling the ball a lot, or Dak was turning the pill over a lot, but his team is winning football games. So turnovers are not. But like I said, I don't know, the trajectory of football right now, the way that the quarterbacks are playing football right now, I think is more reflective of the way that the game is being played more so than quarterbacks just not succeeding.
Gotcha.
What do you mean by that?
You said what I mean by that?
Yeah, what you mean by that?
Like what you sent in the chat earlier about the way that Smitty is being used right now. So we can look at Jalen and say Jalen is not producing and Jalen is not throwing for more than 150 yards, but we can also look at Smitty running fly routes all game and what are we doing? So if the play call, if the play scheme, if the design is bad, if the approach to football is bad, if you're not giving your quarterback the leeway to go out there and have 6 or 7 plays that he can audible from, but it's like what Arthur Smith was doing last year with Russ, then you kind of limiting what the quarterback can do because your job as a quarterback is to break down what the defense is doing, and it's a level of that you can only do on the field.
So I understand what you're saying. I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that. But I'm going to catch the train as well, like both of you guys. And I wanted to point out a few quarterbacks. I wanted to keep it positive, like my man John. The first guy he thought about was the first guy I wanted to say, Daniel Jones. Because I gotta apologize. He was on apology watch, but now it's time to issue the formal apology. Daniel Jones, I apologize. You are definitely playing great football. I did not expect this from you.
Not at all. He's gonna be ass.
Here we are 6 weeks into the season. Your team is 5-1. You are the number 1 seed. He got 1,500 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and you're playing great football. So it's nothing to complain about there. Another guy that John mentioned that I also wanted to mention, Sam Darnold. John, I thought the same exact thing as you. He's leaving this Vikings offense with this scheme, with this head coach. It's not going to be the same. But then he go over to Seattle and he looked the same as he did last year. So now I'm starting to think, okay, maybe he can play regular season football, but I still got to see him in big games. That's still up in the air. But he is looking great right now with also 1,500 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. So I can't complain about that either. Another guy I wanted to mention that I said I was going to mention now, Aaron Rodgers, which is Ian Mans. He's also playing some great football right now. I cannot complain. His team was on a bye week, so his number is a little bit lower than everybody else's, but he is putting in work. Right now, he's sitting at 1,000 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His team is 4-1, and I think they're going to win the division. And I didn't expect that going into the year, regardless of injury. He got his team at 4-1, and I think they're going to win the division, and he's playing great football. And the last quarterback I wanted to mention that I'm surprised that neither one of you brought up was Baker Mayfield. Shake and bake is balling.
Need to.
Oh my God. Now, I already knew that Baker was good. I already expected the Buccaneers to win my division because I'm a Saints fan. I already expected them to win a division going into the year. But I did not expect Baker Mayfield to be in the MVP race, to be my leading candidate right now. His team also is 5-1, the number 1 seed in the NFC. He got 1,500 passing yards with 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Not to mention his wide receiver room been banged up all year. Bucky Irvin been banged up all year. His offensive line been banged up all year. His offense hasn't been fully healthy this whole entire season, and he's balling. So imagine when they get everybody back gelling together.
I only didn't mention Baker because I expect this from him at this point.
Yeah, same.
He's been doing the same thing for the last 2-3 years, and as an Eagles fan specifically, he's been cooking us since Tom retired. So I'm not shocked at nothing that he's doing right now. Much respect, hats off to Baker. I liked him when he was in Cleveland, keep it being. Real rap, bro. And this a quarterback. He was on apology watch and he took himself off the list. Not for me, for y'all. Herbo. Herbo.
Yeah.
Oh, he took himself right off the list. But I'm not gonna lie though. I don't know how closely y'all been watching Chargers football. They tackles been hurt the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like when they lost to the Commanders, he was getting sacked. Like he been out there snapping. Y'all know how I feel about like letting team politics get out, like outside of the locker room. Some stuff on the field, you could hear watching the game. He talking to them crazy, and I'm like, you drawn, but they also out there like he getting cooked. And they show stats for how I think how frequently he's been hit in his first however many games in comparison to Andrew Luck through his first 6 or 7 years as well. And Herbo is 60 hits more than Andrew Luck right now. So it's like that's crazy to think about because we don't feel like he's always on the ground, but I feel like that plays a role in some of his play decreasing. And even with that, he's still damn near 1,500, 10 touchdowns and 4 picks through 6 games. So
all right, you can lose the Commanders game. This is what I'm saying. You can lose the Commanders game, but you can't lose 27-10. And then you can't turn around the next week and lose to the Dolphins. I'm sorry.
Well, he did
you mean the Giants? The Giants.
I mean, Giants. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the Jackson Dart in his first start. Come on.
Yeah, they lost to the Giants first, and then they spun back and then lost to the Commanders.
Lost to the Commanders. You can't do that.
But he got on the Eagles hoodie, and we just got cooked, and we better than them.
Against the Giants, though, he was the reason they lost. He had 2 interceptions. It wasn't his defense wasn't holding up. He was giving Jackson Dart short fields.
No, one of the picks was a tip pass in the red zone though.
And that game too, like he also threw the ball over 40 times, and Omarion went crazy in that game. I think he had 13 carries with $130. Like they said, he lose that game, bro. That's kind of crazy.
But yeah, we're gonna move on to the first topic of today. 6 weeks into the season, the best team in the NFL is? Any taker?
I would go. I'm going. This is another default, John, bro. Like, if I couldn't answer this, if I didn't have to answer this question, I wouldn't. But because I have to, my best team is going to the Bucks, and that's because of the quarterback. I was between the Bucks and the Colts, but although Daniel Jones, and I honestly with debating between the two, I swear to you, I literally went just QB, like which team had the better QB, because they're both big. It's five. They're both 5-1, and they both kind of play similar competition. Like the Colts wins is against Broncos, Dolphins, Titans, Raiders, and Cardinals, and then they lost to the Rams. And then the Bucks is the Niners, Seahawks, Jets, Falcons, Texans, and then they lost to us. So neither team has a super quality win. Like the Colts' best win is against the Broncos, and then the Bucks' best win is against the Seahawks, which is notable because that was a shootout. They won 38-35. But I think when you look around the league, like you have, teams that we thought were going to be elite, like us. Although our record is not terrible, I'm not going to say the sky is falling, but we were supposed to look better than we do. The Ravens, who are now 1-5, the Chiefs, who are 500, who are supposed to be, looking to go back to the Super Bowl. There's not many teams when you look around the league that's like, oh yes, you are the best team in the NFL. Like the crown one, I go with the Bucks, even though they're hurt, they're still. Then people say about us, we still find a way to win games because their quarterback is a rock star right now. Like he's got a team on his back right now. So I'll go the Bucks. After them, I would say the Colts, because they look good as well. Both sides of the football.
Got you. What about you, Ian?
Don said he got to answer the question. I don't feel like I have to. My answer is Dots. I don't feel like there's anybody right now that's convincing me definitively that they're the best team in the NFL, and that's just how I feel. If you ask me to fill in the blank and I have to pick a team, like back against the wall, gun to my head, I'm going to say the Lions. I'm going to say the Lions because I feel like even though the Ravens are 1-5, they have the most of the top teams in the NFC, which would be the Lions, the Packers, to me, the Rams, and the Bucks right now. And you throw us in there as well, but I'm disappointed in us, so I'm not talking about us. I think that the Lions had the most convincing win out of those teams, aside from the Packers beating the Lions. And I think that of the teams that have 4 or 5 wins in the NFL right now, the Lions have the most consistently convincing identity. The Lions are going to come out and run the ball through your face, and Jared Goff is going to stand back and make sure he get his weapons, which are Amon, Jameer. It could be Sam that day, it could be Jameson, but they're going to get their weapons the ball, and they're going to dominate offensively. Defensively, when they are healthy, they're able to go out there and get stops. I think that the Browns, they blew the brakes off the Browns. They put up 50 on the Bears, and they put up 40 on the Ravens. So you know that those 2 losses are to the Packers and to the Chiefs. The Packers in week 1, where the Lions are also playing with a new OC and a new defensive coordinator as well, and they trying to figure out, how they're going to approach this. And then the Chiefs is still pat. So like that's not a good loss. They didn't look good in the loss, but we also see some stuff about reffing and how the reffing and the trajectory of that game went as well. So I think that from the teams that I've saw so far, they are most consistent in what they are good at. The Bucks remind me of the Chiefs from last year, where their quarterback is good enough to win those close games if you keep it close, or us from 2 years ago. Like, these games are too close for comfort, and even though Baker looks amazing, the rest of their team looks suspect.
So for me, I'm gonna go with John on this one. I think the Bucks are the best team, just because they're sitting at 5-1, and quarterback play is a huge portion and what I consider to be the best team, because you got to have a great quarterback, and he's playing like a top 3 quarterback right now, at least in the MVP discussion. So, and they 5-1 right now, and 4 of their 5 wins all came down to the 4th quarter, and Baker had to go out on the field and he had to win the game. He had to deliver 4 game-winning drives, and he's done that. So I can't hold that against him. I got to reward him for doing that. That's what you want your quarterback to be able to do. If your team is able to be in that position, you want to know that you can look over on the sideline, see you got that guy, and he's gonna go out there and win you that game. And he's done that 4 straight times already to start this season. And so I gotta give him props for that. And I gotta get a Bucks prop for being at 5-1 and they're nowhere near fully healthy. So just imagine when they are fully healthy. And so that's why, for me, they're the best team in the NFL. And before we move on, I just want to push back a little bit on what Ian was saying about the Lions. I was thinking the Lions, but then the loss to KC, like it just did something for me because I'm just looking at it like, okay, you lose to Green Bay, you lose to KC, but then let's look at your wins. Okay, you beat the Ravens. That's the only really legitimate win you have. And then at the time, the Ravens defense wasn't holding up. They can't stop none of us right here. So Jared Goff had his way with them. So he did what he was supposed to do. They came out, they punched the Ravens in the mouth, even though a lot of people thought that the Ravens were gonna punch them in the mouth. They did the opposite thing. But since that week, okay, y'all went and y'all beat up on the Browns that y'all supposed to beat up on. Now y'all see another top dog, and the Chiefs took care of business, just how Green Bay took care of business, and the Chiefs just got back, just got some of their pieces back on offense. Their defense never been a problem all year, and then you look at Green Bay with Micah and what they able to do on the offensive end. So it just seemed like every time the Lions run into a team that's on their level, they lose. Was the Ravens really on their level with that defense? So, yeah. So moving on to the last topic of today. We got some basketball for you guys. We got opening night coming up in 2 weeks. Well, no, 1 week away on the 21st.
Yes, sir. 7 days.
Yep. So the question is, what do you guys expect to see on opening night, and what do you want to see on opening night?
What I want to see we have 2 games. Mm-hmm. First one, you have Houston versus OKC. Second one, you have Lakers versus the Warriors. What I want to see, I mean, if I can just be cliche and obvious, great basketball. The first game, I want to see the young talent of Houston continuing to take that trajectory to be a great team. They have a very young team, a lot of young pieces, and they're playing another young team. So I want to see all of that on full display, and I expect a great game. And I honestly don't have too much to say about that game. But the second one, what I expect to see out of the Lakers and the Warriors is very light. But what I want to see from the Warriors is just to see kind of what their identity might be this season long. Because this offseason, I'm gonna be honest, they did absolutely nothing. They signed Al Horford and they signed Seth Curry. and outside of that, they really made and signed Jonathan Kuminga to a contract. But prior to that, we seen what was going on throughout the regular season. And to one guard, that's number one, play defense, and then 2, having an offensive idea. Even after they got Jimmy outside of Steph. And then on the opposite side of the ball with the Lakers, they also didn't make too many moves. Their move of note was signing DA, and the only time he really looked when he was drafted to be was when he was playing with Chris Paul. So I want to see what the Lakers look like without LeBron, and if they're able to hold the ship down while he's not there, which they should, because Luka Doncic is on the team, and we've seen him be on teams where they're not that good, but he elevates their floor because he's such an all-time great player. So what I want to see is both of those teams kind of show what y'all got. Like y'all both are trying, I assume, expecting championships out of your aging players, but you didn't do much to help reach that goal. And with one team missing, their secondary star player, what y'all look like, and what the Warriors look like with making no moves and running it back, essentially with kind of the same guys as your guys even get older. So, yeah.
For me in the OKC and Houston game, I expect OKC to come out and be comfortable. I expect that to be a back and forth game, but I think that Houston has to figure out how they want to approach that game. I think that that's a great starter for Houston because it's a test in terms of talent, in terms of size, in terms of matchups. I want to see in that game, I want to see Ime coach. And I know that it's game one of the season. So it might not be a crazy point of emphasis, but I think that that'll be important, especially in this game because of the lineups. And I think that even though Fred isn't the first, second, or third best player on that team, I think that Fred's presence and his skill set affects the chemistry and the lineups that you can play in Houston. I want to see Reed Shepherd take that next step. I want to see Reed step up and show that I can be what Fred was, because Fred couldn't guard nobody either. So if Reed can come in and buy in and be present on the defensive side and keep himself on the floor, then I think that that'll open up a lot for what Houston can do. I think that if Reed doesn't, and if that takes longer than what we hope, or just as NBA fans, and I think that Houston could be in trouble because outside of that depth lineup or that crazy big and length lineup, I don't think you have a lot of options on the bench to go to offensively. So if those guys can't get it done, then who can? In terms of the Lakers and the Warriors, like John said, I expect the Warriors to be trying to find an identity. I think that Steph and Luka are going to be Steph and Luka. I think that this game comes down to what do the Lakers role players look like, as well as what version of Jimmy Butler do we get on opening night. Are we about to get regular season Jimmy Butler, who's out there pacing himself, waiting for the games 83 through wherever they get into the playoffs? Or is Jimmy going to come out and assert himself and understand that we don't need that version of Jimmy and Golden State? You got to play basketball for 82 games. I don't expect the Lakers to look great, only because of how I think they're going to play basketball similar to how Dallas did 2 years ago before Kyrie got there. I think that's why I said Luka and Steph are going to be Luka and Steph. I think Luka is going to go get 30 and 10, and he'll make DA look good. But I still need to see what their team looks like in terms of a system outside of Luka playing basketball and making everybody's life easier. Because if that's your approach, similar to like what they did when Bron was out last year, and Austin, AR, and Luka was taking turns scoring the ball, okay, cool. What about when shots aren't falling? Or what about when you got a great defender like Caruso and Lu Dort, where you can throw a defender on each one of you guys? So in that game, I expect to see lesser quality of basketball, like John said, unfortunately. Another, I don't want to say key ad, but I think that we shouldn't skip over the fact that Marcus Smart signed with the Lakers as well. And I think that gives some breathing space for Luka, for Brian when he comes back, in terms of running the offense and as well as having some form of identity defensively. If he can go be that spark, if he can go be that plug defensively and get the gears rolling, then maybe they got a shot in terms of, having some form of defensive identity. But as of right now, I don't got big expectations for that game.
Got you. So for me, I'm gonna start with the Houston OKC game. So obviously, you guys know I'm a Houston fan. So what I want to see from this game, kind of what Ian said, I want to see if Reed Shepherd is ready to take that next step. Can we count on him to play 20 to 25 minutes consistently every night? Is he going to give us consistent numbers? That's what I want to see. Is he going to be able to come in and score when we need him to score, pass when we need him to pass? Because we don't always need you to shoot the ball. Are you going to come in and play that role that we need you to play? Because you're important right now. Definitely with the injury to Fred VanVleet, like Ian was saying, in terms of just skills, he's probably not our top 3 player on the team. But in terms of importance and presence, he is a top 3 player on the team, because we need him out there, honestly. So what I expect to see, I think that Ime is going to go out there, and I don't think he's going to show too much, what's going to disappoint me. I don't think he's going to dig too deep into the bag trying to play around with lineups, because it is only game 1, and he know that this don't really mean anything. You can go out there, you can use all these lineups, they can work game 1, and then you see them in the playoffs, and then it's whatever. So I don't think he's going to show too much. But what I want to see is I want to see him go out there and experiment with all these different lineups, because we got to find what's going to work for us in the playoff. Regardless of what people think, I know we're going to be fine for the regular season. But the importance of Fred VanVleet was for playoff time. That's really when we needed him. So I want to see how we're going to be able to run our offense in the playoffs, and I hope he may give us a glimpse of that on opening night. But I don't think he will, to be honest. And now for the Lakers game and Golden State, I just want to see if Golden State has finally decided, like, okay, we need to build an offense that don't just revolve around getting Steph Curry the ball, letting him bring the ball up court. If he don't got a wide open shot, he pass it off, then he run around the screen, try to get it back. That's basically what they did all last year throughout the whole playoff. We don't want to see that again this year. You didn't trade for Jimmy Butler just to have him out there. So I want to see if they find a way to incorporate both of them guys, not just them taking turns, because anybody can just take turns. I want to see, can they actually run the offense? Because when Kevin Durant was there, they had an actual offense that they was running. So I want to see if they can get back to that and not just feed Steph and then see what everybody else can do. And then for the Lakers, honestly, I don't expect too much from the Lakers only because Bron is not going to be there opening night. And I do know that Luka is going to rise the level of play of DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, Austin Reeves is going to be Austin Reeves. But I don't think it's going to be nothing that we haven't seen before. I just think they're going to come out, they're going to play basketball. Luka is going to go out there, he's going to get his shots, he's going to try to get 30 points, he's going to try to get 10, 12 assists, and that's just what it's going to be. And when he don't have the ball, the ball's going to be in Austin Reeves. I don't think they're going to show us too much either. I don't think they can, honestly. That's just how I feel.
Do y'all think Luka go out there and try to get 30? Because I don't think that's his goal when he's there.
You don't think so?
I think he just go play basketball and kill. And like some guys, the game comes so like Kyrie, when he get on the court, like Kyrie has to make up his mind that I'm passing the ball. Outside of that, Kyrie is trying to go get 30. Luka will go and kill, but I'm killing just because you can't guard me. And once I kill, then that opens up opportunities for the rest of the guys around me. But before we get off though, because I feel like this is good content. I did want to talk about, what do y'all think? What do y'all foresee in terms of the role, in terms of the production, in terms of just the rollout for Dalton Knecht and this offense? Not even in this offense, on this team, because prior to the whole trade debacle last year, leading up to that, he made himself a trade asset. A lot of people wasn't high on him, all of that. He made himself a trade asset. And like I said, when Bron went out before Luka came over and was playing basketball, Dalton Knecht and AR was taking turns scoring the basketball. And then the whole, they didn't want me here. I get it, but like at the same time, but you back, lock in, do your job. It affected him last year. What do y'all expect from him this coming season?
I think it depends. I hope, at least I hope. It all depends on where his mental is. So if he's still, and I don't know if y'all seen the clip where they was at the free throw line when the Lakers and the Warriors just played the other day, and they was at the free throw line, and Draymond was talking to him. He was like, you got traded and then traded back. Why are you talking to me right now? So if his mental is kind of there, I think he'll be able to cook. But I also feel like this, now that Luka is here and Bron comes back, the team is not structured a way that allows him to eat. Because I feel like what he's best at, and especially considering he doesn't guard. Honestly, I don't want to say he's a cone, but I mean, I guess we can call him a cone. I don't think that what this team needs and how it's constructed is able, when everybody's there, is able to maximize what he's able to do. So I think he'll I don't know if he'll get traded again or if he'll get traded asset again, but I think once everybody comes back and is fully healthy, his role will diminish, and he will definitely go back to like, all right, where can we fit you? Or JJ will go back, where can we fit you into these lineups that we want to do, since you're AR Junior, essentially. You're kind of one dimensional on that side of the ball, and you can't guard because you're a cone. So
that's how I look at it. Definitely his mental, like John mentioned, that's just the preseason. So you can only imagine what's going to happen once the regular season starts. You know, somebody might say something to you on a night-to-night basis. You got to be able to deal with it mentally. But outside of that, if he's able to deal with it mentally, I think it's really going to depend on AR. Now, I know y'all remember me sending the reports this offseason and everything about that. So if AR got his mind made up that this will be his last year in LA, then I do think Dalton Connect, they'll try to make his role. Yeah, they're going to try to increase his role, and they're going to try to use him more and fit him in these type of lineups and et cetera, et cetera. But like John said, if AR does say, okay, I'm staying here in LA, then sadly he might get traded again, because it's like we don't need two of the same guys. And it's not like you can shoot the ball, yes, but your catch and shoot is just not that crazy that we're just going to keep you on the bench to be a catch and shoot. I don't have anything else. We can end it there. We catch y'all in the next one. Make sure y'all go check us out on Instagram at everything. We got some more videos coming out for you guys this week. And make sure you definitely check the Instagram story. We got some tickets out there for you guys. They do be smacking, you mean? So we're going to catch y'all in the next one.
They do be smacking.